Time to get tied on. We are off and running on a warm and sunny Twilight Friday afternoon here at Gulfstream Park. The man next to me, the mayor of Gulfstream, Ron Nicoletti, Jason Blewett to his right. Delighted to have you with us on a 9-race program in which we settle in. We start a little later than normal, and man, oh man, buddy boy, the pressure is on with Beat the Expert.
I've been studying all night long to try and beat everybody today. Beat the Expert, play along with us. You have just about an hour to get your selections in. And if you pick more winners than me today, you get a chance to win one of those cool polo shirts that actually says Beat the Expert on the side. And sure, you can come here anytime, and then you deserve bragging rights if you beat me this afternoon.
Yes, you do, and tweet us. Hit us up on Twitter, social media, send us an email. We want to see you in those sweet Gulfstream Park Beat the Expert polo shirts. Sign up over on our Facebook page. You have until post time of race number 1 shortly after 2:15 p.m. today to get into that free Friday Beat the Expert. And what a Friday it will be here at Gulfstream Park. We've got the 9 races. We're fast and firm, and when, well, the sun starts to go down here during the summer racing season, the lights of Sport of Kings come on and come alive. Got that great Beatles tribute band playing from 7 to 10 p.m.
Yeah, across the universe will be playing tonight. Last week we had the Billy Joel cover band. This week, the Beatles cover band was a lot of fun. So make sure you come and join us. And we have special happy hour drinks between 7 and 8. And you see everything else that's going on this afternoon. So if you want to get social, you got to do it right here.
And I may have to take a little stab and enter that losing ticket drawing. Got plenty of those to go around. It's been a tough little week here at Gulfstream Park. Again, we've only run the one day, that being Thursday's program. And anyone who thinks at this time of year, when it's not the championship meet, that Gulfstream Park is just sort of a boring chalk palace, you're mistaken. You really are, because, man, chaos ruled supreme second half of yesterday's 10-race program. We ended things with a $96.80 upset winner, and that followed in the second leg of yesterday's Pick 5 horse that paid $64.
And that last race, they hit the wire. 3 horses hit the wire together. So it's not only, it's very exciting racing. And with that said, big carryovers going on today.
Yeah, we'll give you a brief rundown of the wagering menu here on a 9-race program in which, once again, we are fast and firm. The carryover in the Super High 5 seems to be a daily rite of passage on this show. It's a tough wager to hit. You've got almost $6K in the kitty waiting for you, and that'll start as well and coincide, that is, with the early Pick 5 and race number 1, a 2-year-old maiden claimer on the dirt at 4.5 furlongs. A bit later on, no takers in the Rainbow 6. As far as the jackpot went yesterday, the Nixa Gaffleone horse, who was round even money or so, was a cash out in that 10th race yesterday for over $40,000. But that horse only managed third. That means we've got $18,000 and change in the Rainbow 6. And another drum roll, please, Mr. Nicoletti. How do you like that late Pick 5
late
carry?
Pick 5. And we have about $40,000 in that pool. You watch the money come in here, and I know that you're going to give them a ticket a little later on than a winning ticket here, so you can have a fun time here when the sun sets at a late Friday card.
Late Friday card, 2:15 or thereabouts, the start time. And in fact, we do start things out on the main track. They'll break somewhere down the backstretch. In fact, 4.5 furlongs to be precise, close to the top of the far turn here as we bring on the 2-year-old maiden claimers. They are running for claiming prices of $25,000. You clearly, and I did not have this luxury, but it goes with the territory, man. That's why we get paid the big bucks. You have the board to help you kind of navigate this race, because there is plenty of guesswork to be had in this first, given the fact it's a field of 7, 3 firsters, 4 with experience. Nobody's really given a great account of themselves. I will go 3 deep in this early Pick 5, Mr. Nicoletti. I will use the 2, 6, and 7 in the first, followed by the 4 and 6 in race number 2, and that begins almost a mini turf festival as races 2 through 5 are all on the Gulfstream grass. The anchor in that $18 play, the center, if you will, is Gold Lace, who's second off the claim, getting back on the turf for trainer Mike Maker and jockey Tyler Gaffleone. I like Gold Lace to get the gold in the third. $18, but getting back again to the crew in the first race. You just don't have a heck of a lot to go on. My guess was with the number 2, Little Doubt. I like the connections in C.J. McMahon and trainer Joe Orsino. Not much to go on again as far as the pedigree. More of a very blue-collar, Florida-bred pedigree with this horse, who's the first foal out of an unraced dam.
9 local workouts in preparation for that debut. You mentioned the connections, but I did use on top of my ticket the horse that's currently at 2-1, and it was on the drop is the reason I used it. And that's Seminole Charlie, the number 5, dropping to the 25 level. Go back, you look, he hopped a little bit at the start last time out. He finished a distant 4th, but it was its maiden special weight debut. Robert Smith, Carlos Montalvo, sort of the connections from up at Tampa. I just thought on the drop this was the logical one to put in the ticket, but I'm going to use your 2, little doubt, for the reasons you mentioned, being that son of awesome, of course.
Fair enough. You've got a 2-year-old colt by Anthony's Cross, a grand sire, or the grand sire, I should say, is Indian Charlie, and we'll see how that one does. Seminole Charlie dropping out of a race won by Admiral Jimmy for Todd Pletcher. That horse would go on to finish 3rd most recently, Belmont Stakes week in the Tremont up north at Belmont Park. We'll get on to race number 2, and clearly there's more form to dig your teeth into as far as looking at the second on paper. Next 4 races are on the turf, and after scratches, we've got the old 5-pack, a field of 5 as they go 5 furlongs on the grass, and a last-out victory from the number 1 Holter's Girl. We'll go back 43 days ago for trainer Herman Walensky, filly by In Summation, who got a good ride that day from C.J. McMahon, who potentially has a couple live horses in this early double, riding my top pick in race number 1 and getting aboard this speedster who was able to clear from an outside post early and never, ever had an anxious moment in this turf win at 4-5.
Very impressive performance, and stepping up to the next logical level today, responded to both that drop down in competition and the surface switch with that victory you're watching right there. What I like about this horse, I like Herman Walensky as a trainer. Bullet 3 furlong drill and 35-1, stepping up to the next logical level, was the 4-5 favorite that afternoon. So I'm going back with Holter's Girl in this spot.
Trying to get cute with the price. There's 2 In Summation fillies in the race. We looked at Holter's Girl. She's logical, no question about it. But the 4 Smooth Cookie, I think, when push comes to shove, is a little faster early in the speed department. Her quality comes into question here. You just don't know, and there's a good chance, to be honest about it, she's just not fast enough to beat this crew even after scratches. But I'm hoping, being by In Summation, who's a pretty good turf sprint sire, clearly his offspring, that is their best game going short on the turf. So you've got that angle to play with, and the dam sire, Wised Up, was a good, real hard-knocking, grade 3, grade 2 quality turf runner for Richard DeStasio Jr. up in the Big Apple in the mid to late 90s. I remember that horse fondly. My guess here at a price, the number 4 Smooth Cookie in the second.
Yeah, 12-1 in the morning line. You get some different scratches in that race, so I think this horse will go off less than 12-1, but I'm going with Holter's Girl. I just want to mention one other horse before we turn the page, and that's Eternal Tempest. Back on the grass, I want to show you stat Dennis Ward. I thought this was good to show the people, turf sprinters and claiming ranks. He wins at a 25% rate, 12 for 48, 38% in the money. Really nice return of investment of $4.65. Horse you might want to throw on that try or super ticket.
And that 3-year-old filly who's yet to win on the turf, surrounded as a Louisiana bred by Florida breds in race number 2. See if they gang up on her. She is the one coming in from out of state, so to speak, off the pedigree, adding another layer to Friday's second. On to the third we go. 7.5 furlongs on the turf. These are 3 and up. Filly and mare, $35,000 to $25,000 maiden claimers. 1 scratch in this race, the number 4 exclusively Emma. Was a horse I thought had a chance to hit the superfecta. But again, for me, it all boils down to Mike Maker having the outside runner, the number 7 Gold Lace. The stats with this trainer and this barn on the turf, some scary, scary numbers. And in this case, Gold Lace was rained off first off the claim. Clearly not a dirt horse. That race about 2.5 weeks ago. And how about this stat here? 3 for 4. 75%. Oh, I love seeing this. And you've also got big numbers at play. I'll let you take it from here with the stat, Ronnie, but I've got one I want to add.
Yeah, 100% in the money, the stat I'm going to show you now with that $5.40 return of investment. So what did I do? I put the horse in third. I just got cute in here, but I think you got the logical horse with number 7 Gold Lace.
Second off the claim going dirt to turf, which also applies with Gold Lace. Mike Baker's 38% at 11 for 29, an ROI of nearly $4. Now, to be fair and to complete sort of my War and Peace explanation of Gold Lace, he did claim this horse off Bill Mott. So I'm hoping maybe you get a little improvement. That's got to be noted. It's not like he took Gold Lace off a nobody. And we know Patrick Biancone is not a nobody. In fact, his record throughout the world speaks for itself. Won the ARC a few times. He's got the 6 Holiday Movie, who's in from the West Coast, and we'll see what that one can do as your top pick and the horse that I have second.
Debuting for Patrick Biancone, solid turf campaign against Similar at Santa Anita, in which he was second going a mile 2 starts back, and a late closing third when they ran down the hill, going 6.5 furlongs. And I just thought a new face on the local scene, and that is why I went there and wanted to see how well this horse has done. And over the years, people won't realize this, horses that ship in from California during the summer meet have run very well, and I don't have an actual number on it, but they run pretty well. So I went with Holiday Movie. Would I leave your horse off? No, when I split them 2 with the one horse who you have on your ticket, that's Niles Angel. But Gold Lace going to take all the money there. Holiday Movie looks like it'll be the second choice.
Getting back to your original point, I'm curious to hear, why do you think that is with the West Coast horses coming in at this time of year? Is it a quality thing?
I think it's a quality. I think the quality is equal to the quality we have here when they ship in, and maybe it's just as simple as warm weather in California and warm weather here. They've run well in the past, and I hate to put out just a statement like that without backing it up with stats, but I remember over the years, every time a California horse would come here, they would run better than you would expect them to run.
That's a good nugget. We'll see if that works with Holiday Movie. Again, I like Maker and Tyler G in race number 3. As with the opening pick 3 down, we can take a little breather, we'll take a breath, and we'll be back with Ronnie's Sunset Friday Rainbow 6 ticket.
At ExpressBet, we celebrate the champions that make horse racing great. That's why we provide more ways to bet from more places than ever. We've built an entire family of brands to give players more of the rewards they deserve, give bettors the information they need to win, and provide a community for horse bettors. Because the best way to support the champions of horse racing is to champion horse racing. ExpressBet, we are racing.
Saturday, July 1st. Don't miss the Summit of Speed at Gulfstream Park. A full day of live thoroughbred racing action featuring the Grade 2 Princess Rooney and the Grade 3 Smile Sprint. Both Breeders' Cup win-and-you're-in stakes racing. Over $1 million on the line with a first race of $11.55. Admission and parking are free. The Summit of Speed at Gulfstream Park. Speed thrills. Welcome to your playground, Gulfstream Park.
This is your playground. In fact, our paddock studios, much like Summit of Speed, 8 days from now, alive and well on this Twilight Friday, Sunset Friday card at Gulfstream Park. Ron and Jason alongside. Our countdown to the big July 1st Summit of Speed continues. Looking forward to seeing some serious firepower. And as the man upstairs, Pete Aiello, said on that commercial, a couple of win-and-you're-in Breeders' Cup races.
And the key word there is sprint. Lots of great sprints, and we get to see 2-year-olds on the turf and on the main track, and older horses, 3-year-olds. Great day of racing. We got the special 14-race card with our first post at 11:55 a.m., so make sure you jot that down, and that is next Saturday.
Right, that's a marathon, but the day is all about sprint racing. Go figure. On to the 4th, and as we talk about this field, a 3-and-up 20K claimer on the turf at 5 furlongs. We've got your little Friday Rainbow 6. Do we have a single looming, perhaps?
Nope. We don't. We have a $43.20 ticket again, and I love singles, and I just can't seem to pull the trigger on any of them. $43.20 for me. Going 3 deep in the 4th race. I thought it was a pretty wide open affair. A couple of horses that ran against each other. Good performance last time out I used on the ticket, and that is the 8 and the 1. Today we'll show you that race in just a couple of moments. And I used the 4 Mill Hill Place, and you see the rest of the progression as it goes down. As I mentioned, $43.20 for me.
And Zeus Odin and Graphite Strike, a pair of horses who know each other quite well. In fact, they've got a pretty nice rivalry going. We'll see if one of them can get through this 20K beaten claimer condition this afternoon after they met, well, earlier this month, back on June the 2nd. As far as the better trip, I think Zeus Odin had the better trip, but that being said, he also did more running. He's the number 2. He's in the white cap. You can see the black cap, and Graphite Strike trying to get himself into gear. That's the problem. Even though I went back to Graphite Strike today, being candid about it, it's just a case of it seems like he puts himself behind the 8 ball. He closed okay in this race. Never looked like he was going to get there as far as the top prize goes. Just hoping maybe he can sit a little closer, and I'm also hoping he gets some speed to run at. With Zeus Odin, who ran well and just lost a tough one on the wire. With him in the race showing speed, and the 4, who you also used, Mill Hill Place. I'm hoping the fractions are hot. I want Graphite Strike, much like you, to cut everybody down.
That's exactly what I was seeing in the race there. Graphite Strike, Zeus Odin, and Mill Hill Place. Impressive 25 maiden winner on the grass up at Tampa back in April. Going back to turf, he failed to handle that slop last time out. He's got speed, and I'm thinking that's setting it up for a horse like Graphite Strike. And if you noticed that red day, we had a little cut in the ground. That was after some of the rain we had, and I think that it's more conducive to this horse. I'm talking about Graphite Strike to run better this afternoon.
Hope so. He's been a popular item in the claim box. In fact, we'll check out a Friday BB, the Bluets Bullets here on Gulfstream today. A quick little rundown of Graphite Strike from the outside. We'll see. He's 1 for 16, 4 seconds, 5 thirds. Got to break through this condition at some point. Hopefully today is the day. He's been popular in the claim box, and again, it's neat seeing him. I know they're kind of lower level claimers on the turf, but these horses, they entertain us. They put it all on the line, and the likes of Graphite Strike and Zeus Odin show up here at GP every 2.5, 3 weeks, and we respect them a lot, and we'll see if one of them can beat the other again today. All right, let's move on to race number 5,
Big
my
news
friend.
here.
Yeah, no kidding. You got that right. Race number 5 on the program. Speaking of big news, a rare late pick 5
That's
carryover.
what I was talking about.
Boy, oh boy. Up in New York, pick 5 carries, very rare, and I think the same could be said down here. This is hands down, I can say unequivocally, this is the first one in the 2 months I've been here, the first one we've had.
We've had maybe a handful over the championship, maybe 5 or 6 times, and every time this situation happens, they really, really bet into it.
Which
so
makes it fun, though.
Yeah.
That's the great thing.
And it's a great bet. It's one of the best bets on the racetrack, a 50-cent wager, so you can add some other horses, and let's see your ticket right now.
Yeah, let's go in. Little late pick 5 carry. We'll do a $16 play, singling in race number 8. Now, to be fair, that is a race that lost a clear and perhaps heavy favorite and concealed with a kiss. Classy mare, who I wonder if they're taking a long look at this coming Saturday's Princess Rooney on that sum to speed card for concealed with the kiss. With her out, I think Linda Mimi is by far the filly to beat in that race, and looking to see trainer Gustavo Delgado get on a run fairly late in this Twilight Friday card. She is the centerpiece in a $16 play, which sees me using both All's Well, the 2, and I goofed on that ticket. I want the number 4, Grand Venezuelan. That's my fault, guys. Grand Venezuelan and All's Well for me in this opening leg. Now, as far as last out trips go, not a great effort from the 2 All's Well. Let's backtrack via the spotlight to this one's effort back on May 13th. The boys upstairs will have the number 7, All's Well, highlighted. We'll pick it up from the start, and although sent off at 5-2 in the colors of Frank Calabrese, the number 7 horse, All's Well, you can see the orange saddle towel there as they head into the first turn. Was this a disastrous trip? No, but no question about it. This horse was bumped pretty hard and bothered at a couple of different junctures around that first turn. I think it really took him out of position because he's got more positional speed than that. The question is, can he cut down a likely loose on the lead Grand Venezuela, who's got some things to like, mainly his speed and the trainer change?
Well, we talked about this yesterday. You said, hey, who'd you pick in that race? And I said Grand Venezuela. Not only did I pick it, it made it my best bet this afternoon. 6-1 on the morning line. I'm going to tell you why. Now in the Gilberto Zerpa barn, this son of Gone Astray ran well when racing around 2 turns on this course last summer. Stretches out to mile in the 16th. They're going to add the blinkers this afternoon. Finished 7th. It was a 20 maiden test, going 5 furlongs back in March. Want to show you stat on Mr. Zerpa over the last 5 years. First after a trainer change right here at Gulfstream Park. 4 for 16, 25%, 50% in the money, and a positive return of investment. I just think this is the logical horse in this particular race, and wanted to get a little bit of a price this afternoon. Grand Venezuelan right on top of my ticket.
I hope he wires the field with the blinkers on. Again, 2-4 for me in the opening leg of that late pick 5 and a carryover of just under $40,000. Good stuff there. Let's move on to race number 6. 4 consecutive turf races come to a close in Friday's 5th. That means we head to the main track for the opening leg of the late pick 4. 3 and up, $16,000 maiden claimer at 6.5 furlongs. I am very much a fan of the number 5 Brave Request. I've been trying to find horses, and thankfully we've been pretty lucky on the few bias days that I've noted since I arrived in South Florida back the first week of May. It's been a couple of days here and there on the main and a couple of days on the turf. For me, May 21st was one of those days where when and where Inside Speed was basically unbeatable, and I think Brave Request was way up against it. Now, coming into play today, you just don't know if this horse can really run at all. But again, got a horse who's second off a lengthy layoff going back to his 2-year-old season and was so compromised last time with the bias. He's got good connections in his corner. I think Brave Request is going to step up and run a good one here at a decent price.
I actually put the cheaters on to take a second look at this horse. I like your thinking with this horse. Kathleen O'Connell, the trainer in there. Horse I may have missed. I can go back and revisit that. That's the beauty of starting the day early before the races start. But I did go with the 7. Tis a Golden Rocket, cutting back to 6.5. First starts in setting the pace, finishing second. 12.5 maiden test, going a 1-turn mile, was back on May 7th. Henry Colazzo, pretty solid with the route to sprint angle, about 18%.
Another busy Friday here at GP for leading jockey Tyler Gaffalione, and we just see basically a local army for trainer Ralph Nix, who's got, seems as each card passes, he's got 2, 3, 4 very live horses. They've got a firster in race number 6, the number 2 French Accent, who needs to be mentioned here because this horse need not be a monster to get the maiden diploma first time out. A long series of steady breezes and a homebred by Backtalk.
Gets Lasix. You mentioned the connections. This horse can certainly win, and you got to use it somewhere on your ticket when you're putting those multiple wagers together.
Yeah, wouldn't want to get beat by French Accent because of the connections and the fact that they're probably, you would think, debuting him realistically in a spot where he can quite simply succeed for the 16 Gs. On to race number 7, we've got a lot of dirt late in the card today, and I like the fact that we go 2 turns. Out of my own 16th in race 7, Ronnie, they'll break right in front of the stands. We've had Good Friday crowds out here the last couple of twilight days we've had. So good stuff there. And this A other than 25K optional claimer lost a couple of horses late in the day here via scratches that change, at least in my mind, the complexion of races 7 and 8. And one of them, the 7 only in America, who I had picked. That may be good news, though, if you're a fan of trainer Gustavo Delgado, as he runs not only the 2 Prince Tito, but he runs, I think, your Kentucky Derby horse from 2016 in Modesto. You liked him in the Run for the Roses at 100-1, right?
No, he was second to Nyquist in 2016 Florida Derby. He's making his first start. He failed to fire in both the Kentucky Derby and the $100,000 curling up at Saratoga.
Good field, though. Those Chad Brown horses in the gift box and obviously Connect. I mean, they are top-class runners.
But early on, just before he ran second to Nyquist, he ran good when he broke his maiden at a mile in the 16th.
Yep, kept going like this.
Right.
Nice progression. He's got some talent. He's a younger half-brother to Overanalyze, who was a Grade 1 winner for Rapoli and Pletcher, and is now a young, successful stallion. This is a good spot for Modesto to come back. If he doesn't need one off the bench, I think he'll run very, very well in this race for Gustavo Delgado. You've also got Chiseled in the mix, who's got that early speed. And just a heads up, this is just a trainer change. We've seen a number, or will see a number, of Fernando Abreu previously trained horses over the next couple of cards getting trainer changes to Ulysses Matos. Just a trainer change. Fernando not suspended or anything. He's got a horse running later today, and you like Chiseled here in race 7.
5-time local winner, making his first start since his 2-race win streak ended. He finished second in the slop at this level. It was back on May 5th. A 5-time winner at the distance. Jorge Ruiz in the saddle. Going back to Modesto just a moment, I want to give you a stat on Gustavo Delgado. We've been talking about this horse. Layoff of 180 days plus on the dirt at Gulfstream. 3 for 20, 15%, a limited sampling, 20% in the money, and almost a $2 return of investment, $1.73.
Not bad.
Just wanted to throw that out there, you know, because I think this horse is going to take tons of money.
Well,
today.
he's stake-faced. Again, you lose only in America, who I think was going to take some play. So that just takes a major contender out of the win pool. Yeah, you're probably looking at a very short price on Modesto, all things considered. He's got a real rival in Chiseled, though, for sure, off that trainer change to Ulysses Matos. We'll see what he can do with those former Fernando Abreu horses. On to race number 8. In fact, the dirt racing comes to a close, and there is definitely some quality late in the card today at GP as we have this 1 mile Friday feature, a $44,000 high-priced allowance optional claimer. The gals will go the 8 furlongs, losing the 4 Conceal with the Kiss. Kind of a bummer. It looked like a horse you could lean on quite heavily if you were playing the multis. I would imagine her connections will take a long, hard look in the Grade 2 Princess Rooney, and why not? She's one of the better older filly sprinters currently based here in South Florida. But that leads us, with her gone, that leads us, I think, in the direction of trainer Gustavo Delgado, who's got the 2 running in race number 7, and he's right back here with Linda Mimi, who I think a mile might just be her best distance.
And I didn't know what to do with Linda Mimi. I had her on the ticket when, Concealed with a Kiss was in here. I didn't know how the pace scenario would play out. Concealed with the Kiss, a very fast horse.
Yeah.
I think Linda Mimi has the ability to stalk, go to the lead. I think she's the one to beat, as you mentioned. A good single on your ticket there. I used the 6. She takes heart in second, and Tormento de Oro to close out.
Oh, I like that. I am definitely, or we are including that horse later on. Bred, actually, by the University of Florida Foundation.
That's right.
What's the name of that rail horse again?
Tormento de Oro.
I love it. 5-year-old mare by Betty the Bull. But again, I think Linda Mimi drops out of a race. Same condition, but on a horse-for-horse basis. That crew she met May 11th, they were better horses and a deeper field than this 8th race today. She's supposed to get it done, in our humble opinion. And let's close it out. Again, a rarity we have any sort of pick 5 carryover. We've got a late one today, the late 5 that kicks off in race number 5. 39 G's plus in the carryover pool, 3 and up other than 25K optional claimers. Bring down the curtain on this Twilight Friday card. 5 furlongs on the turf. Got a little spotlight to bring you of Clift, who will learn a bit more about where he stands. Man, his return to the turf back on June the 1st, I did not like him this day. I remember almost as a pedigree snob kind of snickering, going, who is this Sire Hull? But I'll tell you, Clift had running on his mind. He was very good in a race that came up very fast, at least on the buyer scale.
Yeah, I got an 85 buyer for this performance and have him somewhere on my ticket, and I thought he ran exceptionally well in there. But I went with a little bit of a price in the nightcap, and that is the 3 Sherpa. I believe 12-1 on the morning line, drop into this 25. And there you see Clift. I mean, I got it on the ticket for all the reason, but I want to mention Sherpa. Drop it to the 25 level, cutting back to 5 furlongs, returned from a layoff to duel for the lead when facing. That was against $75,000 optional claimers, going 7.5 last time out. Jose Pinchin, Cornelio Velasquez in the saddle. I think this horse fits this race shape perfectly. I like the drop to this level. I think this horse is going to run well, and you're going to get a bit of a price.
It's a very competitive nightcap. As you start to work your way through the field, you are clearly dealing with a number of horses who quite simply are in razor-sharp form locally at Gulfstream Park. That being said, the 8 wine list has got some good races, and he's also got some so-so races showing. And his last race on June 3rd, we got the so-so wine list. Today, I'm hoping right around happy hour or so. And again, we've got those drink specials running through 8 p.m. today at Gulfstream Park. I'm hoping we get the good wine list for trainer Ron Fauché, who I am a big, big fan of. A spread race, I personally think, and maybe I'll have to include the 3 Sherpa after you gave your dissertation on them. I like, and I would use every bit, as silly as it sounds, the 4, 5, 6, and 8. We'll see how Sherpa does. Any words of wisdom as we wrap up the
Well, I'm looking
card?
at our selections there, and I think that says it all, how we see that. Everybody's going to see this race just a little differently.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one, and a great way to end the day. And do we get another $90-something horse in the nightcap? We'll see a little later on. I hope you join us across the universe tonight. Not join us across the universe, and join us here. That's the name of the band.
You're everywhere. Everywhere where there is news to be fit and printed, Ron Nicoletti will chase you anywhere in the universe, my friend. Again, it's good to have you with us here. Settle in. It's going to be a good one coming up at Gulfstream Park as we next bring up, well, track announcer Pete Aiello. He's got that opening set of Friday Scratches and Changes.